Do you really know what your customers want, or are you guessing just like everyone else? In this video, I'm going to discuss just that. The topic is marketing research. Marketing research is about understanding what works and why in a marketing campaign. It's about understanding consumer behavior, campaign performance, and finding important and actionable insights that can help you in growing your business. Many people confuse marketing research with market research, but they are quite different in reality. Market research focuses on the market, like studying demographics, trends, and understanding the industries. But on the other hand, marketing research actually focuses on strategies. For example, improving campaign ROIs and understanding user behavior. The main focus of marketing research is understanding user behavior related toward a campaign. So, as I said, marketing research is the process of understanding what works and why about a marketing campaign and about a marketing strategy. And you also know why marketing research is important. That's why you are watching this video. But there are two reasons for which marketing research is absolutely essential. First one is that it reduces uncertainty. Every marketing decision comes with a risk, right? And marketing research reduces that risk and gives you clarity on what's working and what's not. Let's take an example, right? Imagine you are about to launch a new product, but you're unsure if the audience will like it or not. So, what you do, you launch a product to a small set of audience and use tools like PostHog to track how they're using the product, and you track their behavior and you track their feedback. And from that feedback and behavior, that's called marketing research, by the way, from their behavior, which you're tracking through a tool like PostHog, you know whether to proceed or to make change to the product. That's one. The second reason that makes marketing research absolutely essential is that it helps you focus your resources on strategies or campaigns that will actually work. Nobody wants to waste money and time on a strategy that will not pan out. So, with marketing research, you know exactly where to put your efforts in. Let's say that you are running the same campaign on different platforms, different social media platforms. There are so many social media platforms right now for say LinkedIn, Threads, Twitter, whatever. So what happens is you run the campaign and you see that you are getting almost same amount of signups from all the platforms because you're putting same money on all the platforms. Then how do you decide which platform to go ahead with? Is it possible that all of the platforms are working for you? Not necessarily. So what you do then is you use tools like PostHog, Amplitude, Mixpanel, whatever. You use these platforms to track people coming from each of these platforms and how they are behaving after sign up. After sign up, how much time they are spending on the app. After sign up, are they experiencing the wow moment or not? Just for an example, let's say that people from any of those platforms, let's say LinkedIn in this scenario, are spending more time on the app, are doing things which actually make them an active users. So then you know you should put more money on LinkedIn. As I said in this video, I'm going to talk about 6 different scenarios where marketing research would be helpful, and how will you do marketing research in those 6 scenarios. Scenario 1 is when your website engagement drops and you do not know why. You do not know if it's a design issue, it's a content issue, or is it maybe something entirely different. Maybe there's some code broken and you are not aware of it. So this is where marketing research would be really, really helpful. So how would you start? Let's take this one by one. There are 3 steps involved in this marketing research. First, you go to the page where the engagement has dropped and you go to PostHog, which you have already installed on your app, and you look at the heat maps. Heat maps will show you where people are clicking, where they are not clicking, and you can compare this with last week or the week before that, and you can see how there is a difference. If people are ignoring a specific call to action or getting stuck in an unexpected area, the heat map will reveal it. Let's say that 90% of your users are not scrolling past the banner on your homepage. So that signals either the homepage is not enticing enough to ask them to scroll down, or the content below the homepage is not enticing enough for them to go and look at it. Then what you do is, based on different behaviors, you create cohort, which again you can see how you create cohort here. And what you do then is you dive deeper into sessions recording of those users. For example, let's say you create a cohort of people who visited this page in last 7 days and cohort of people who visited this page before last 7 days, and you can see the difference in their behavior. Session recordings will also reveal if a code is broken. That might be the reason why this is happening. So these are the two steps. After that, based on the result of this marketing research, you will then make decisions on how you can improve the engagement. Whatever the result was revealed from this marketing research will help you make better decisions to make sure that this drop is not stagnant and you can improve it in the next weeks. One more important thing here to remember is that you do not just make decisions and implement it and hope that it will work. What you do is you A/B test here. You test the changes that you applied against the earlier version which was not working, which was the page where engagement has dropped. You create a version and you test it with the past version and you see how the changes that you implemented are affecting it. So here, instead of guessing what went wrong or why it went wrong, you actually do marketing research, you look at the data and you make an informed decision. Okay, the second scenario where you will do marketing research, where marketing research would really be helpful, is when conversion rate is lower on a campaign. For example, let's say that you ran a campaign and you got a ton of clicks on it, but when it came to actual conversion, nothing happened. So what you do in this scenario is you create a funnel. So the funnel is a step-by-step user journey from the point they clicked on the ad to the point they actually converted. This will help you see exactly where user drops in the process. For example, let's say that you are running an ad for a free trial sign up. So this is how you will create the funnel: ad clicks, landing page, sign up form, and confirmation. These are the 4 steps of the funnel. This is where all the people who are coming through that ad that you ran, this is the place where people who have actually landed. So the clicks is basically, you will get the clicks from your Facebook ad, number of people actually clicked. Then here you see how many people actually landed on the page from that ad on the landing page. Then you go to how many people actually signed up after clicking on the landing page and how many people actually confirmed the sign up. Confirm the sign up means after signing up, sometimes you send them email or a code to confirm they actually have signed up. So these are the 4 steps that you created. And then you see where the most number of people have dropped off. Is it on the sign up page? Is it on the landing page? Or they didn't even land on the landing page? After clicking on the ad, they just disappeared. This is how you will identify where the problem is happening. Once you know where your user are stuck, you focus on fixing that specific step. Say that the sign up page is way too long and asks for unnecessary details, for example, phone number. So you just simplify the form by reducing the number of fields and adding some auto fields option. Again, this goes without saying that when you implement your change, you always do an A/B testing, because even after looking at the result of the marketing research, you will always have the probability that the decision that you came up to is not the right decision. So what you do is you actually implement an A/B test. You test it with the old sign up form, for example, in this scenario, to the new sign up form that you created with removing some unnecessary field and adding some autofill options, and you run an A/B test and run it for at least 1000 visits, and you divide it 50-50 and you see if there is an actual increase in the number of people who are signing up or not. And that's how you will do marketing research in the second scenario. Now let's see scenario 3. This is a scenario where you are launching a new feature or a whole new product. This is where marketing research comes in really handy. We will understand this by taking an actual example. This is not a real life example, but let's take an example that in your product you launched a new feature. Let's say that this feature is the dark mode feature. So how would you launch a new feature to an existing audience and understand instantly that this worked or not? So what you do is you launch it for the top 10% first. There is a feature in PostHog called feature flag. What it helps you do is it helps you create a cohort of people with whom you want to actually test a specific feature. So you added a feature flag on the toggle of dark mode and you only activated it for top 10% of the users. So after that, you look at metrics like, did they toggle it on or not? Do they spend more time in dark mode or in normal mode? This is what you see. This is what you track. There are other things that you will be doing when you have launched a new product. In this specific example, since PostHog is already enabled on your app, you will already have so much data about how users interact with that specific feature. So what we'll do is you will look at metrics like clicks, number of toggles, time spent, whether the feature led to higher engagement or higher drop-offs. So let's say that users who enable the dark mode spend 15% more times on the app, then that's a win. But if you notice that there is a spike in user complaints or the number of people who are actually using the product in dark mode has dropped, then that's a loss. So what you do in this stage, you iterate and you improve. Based on the data, make tweaks to the product, make tweaks to the features, and to address the user's concern, you improve the usability of the product. You can also relaunch the product to a different set of audience. For example, this time you targeted only top 10%. Next time what you do is you define a specific audience. For example, people who have student email IDs. What you do is you only launch for them and you see how they are reacting. This is just an example, and that's how you can test the same feature again and again with different type of people and see which of these people are more welcoming towards a new feature. This will help you make better decisions in scenarios where you want to be 100% sure that the new feature that you are launching is actually in a line with all the audience that you have. Next scenario is high churn rate after onboarding. Let's say that people are not coming back to your app after they are getting onboarded. So how do we do marketing research in this specific scenario? We'll start to look at the drop off. So there is a session property which tells you exactly what page was the last page of a user. What you do is you define users by looking at how many people only did one session, and that session included the onboarding. You define the cohort of people and then you see what was the last page of all of those sessions, and then you will figure out that there is a specific page where people are dropping off and they are never coming back. Then you need to identify what happens on that page. You need to create a cohort and you need to see that how people are actually behaving on that page, and that's how you will identify why this problem is happening, why people are not coming back after onboarding. Session recordings in PostHog will also reveal that users are clicking or hesitating during onboarding. For example, if say people who completed the whole onboarding process in only 10 to 15 seconds and people who took like 2 to 3 minutes to complete the onboarding process, you will also have to compare these two people of are they coming back or not, and this will define so many things for you. Solutions in these scenarios, depending upon the result of your marketing research, might include decreasing the onboarding length, implementing guided tours, and adding guide through videos to help them complete the onboarding process and to help them get started with the product. That's more important, to help them get started with the product in faster way. Again, it goes without saying you have to implement results with an A/B test so that you do not just change the entire thing. You only implement it for the 50% of the users and see if your implemented change is doing better than the original version or the current version. So I have kept the best scenario for the last. This is the scenario where people are using your app actively, but they are not converting. And more importantly, this is the scenario where the marketing research is the most simple. What you have to do is you have to create two cohorts, one of people who are paid users and one of people who are active users but are not paid users. What you do here is you see how people are reacting just before upgrading. In the paid cohort, you see what are they doing just before becoming paid users. You see what pages they visit, you see what buttons they click, you see the frequency of button they click, and you create a list of all of these things. And then what you do is you compare of these things with the users who are free but not paid. Then you see how they are interacting with your app in that specific scenario, on those pages where these people converted, on those buttons where these people converted, and you will have a clear distinction of why these people are not converting. For example, let's say that the result might come out as these people are not actually your ICP. These people are here just because they want to use your free features. Your product does not actually solve paid problem for these people. There could be other results, there could be other possibilities as well, but these are some things which you might discover when you do the marketing research in this scenario where people are actually actively using your product but they are not upgrading. Based on whatever result you get, here are some things that you can actually apply in these scenarios. When free people hit limits, you put nudges at those places saying that you try to use this feature, why don't you upgrade, and we have 10% off if you upgrade right now. Whenever they hit a limit, you send them an email saying that you hit a limit and we understand whatever, however you want to explain it. You say that we have 10% off, 20% off, 30% off if you upgrade in next 20 days, next 30 days. This is a solution that works in most of the scenarios. So that was all of the scenarios I will discuss in this video. I will give you one last thing before I go, is what is the general approach when it comes to marketing research in any scenario. So there are actually only 5 steps revolving around how to do marketing research in a specific scenario, in any scenario actually. First step is obviously you have to identify the problem. You have to identify that people are coming to the app but they are not engaging. People are coming to the app but they are not signing up. People are signing up but they are not onboarding. People are onboarding but they are not using the app. People are using the app but they are not upgrading. You have to identify the issue very, very clearly. That's the first step. Second step is where you start to gather data. If you are aware of how to use tools like PostHog, you know that what features of PostHog you have at your disposal. You want to look at heat maps, you want to look at session recording, you want to look at funnel, you want to look at trend. Whatever you want to look at, you will know once you start using these apps. That was the second step. The third step is where you actually, after collecting the data, you analyze and interpret. Now, analyzing is easy. The interpreting part is little bit tricky because different people with different preconceived notions interpret same data in different types. The fourth step is where you take the action, where you actually implement solutions based on whatever result you got. And when you implement solution, the solution might not work. That's why the last step is that you always measure the result, that you always do A/B testing based on whatever change that you implemented. You have to make sure that you are A/B testing it and you are not just changing everything website wide or app wide just like with a single flick. You have to do A/B test because you might have interpreted the data in a wrong way. And that is the last step of doing a marketing research. So let's reiterate: identify the problem, gather data, analyze and interpret, which is the third one, which is the most tricky one. Fourth is take action, where you actually implement the change. And fifth is measure the result, where you do the A/B testing with whatever implementation you want to do. So with that, I will leave you. This is my first video and I will really love it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post ton of more content on product growth and growth hacking, and I will see you in the next video.